Let's just take a close look at this and see what it can actually do. This is a very interesting category, and I can tell you very soon you're going to be moving away from your DVDs and CD players, just as you did with your iPod and your iPod Docs. You're going to be moving away in video as well. And devices like this are what you will start using.
This is the story of what may well be the most odd-looking box, yet the most powerful box we've seen in a long time. This is the story of the Boxy Box. So what does it do? Well, you already know some of what it does, but there's a history behind it, a very interesting one. What D-Link has done is, it's taken what was the world's most powerful media server, and it's put it in a box that is maybe the world's most powerful little computer in a box that's small. Put those two together, this should be really, really state-of-the-art. There are some very good and some not so good things, but like I said, in any story, there is good and bad. Let's get started with the story.
So after the bedtime story, it's time to work. And the first thing first, while it may be called a Boxy, it's anything but a box. In fact, it doesn't even look like a typical media server, but more like a funky clock radio. Its mirrored front hides the Boxy logo, which glows green when you turn the box on and dims out when you play a movie. At the rear is every port you could think of, including HDMI, 2 USB ports, SD card slot on the side, optical and stereo phono outputs. There's also an Ethernet port, although you can use the built-in Wi-Fi if you prefer. But the goodness doesn't just last at the Boxy Bronze, as the Boxy Brains displays its friendliness as soon as you access the main interface. Displayed across are large icons for the main menu options like photo, music, movies, home TV shows, apps and files, and single menu button is enough to bring up a sub-menu or step backwards through the interface. While photos and music are pretty straightforward, listing your memories and music in respective folders, movies is where things get really interesting. While the main interface gives you the most popular films listed with thumbnails for each, selecting one either plays it directly or sends you to the hosting website using the built-in browser. You can also search for films, although there are limitations being in India, as some sites require a subscription, while others are unsupported from this country. TV shows are also similar in feel. The default view is a list of the most popular shows, and all programs in this list are pulled from online video services. Selecting a show brings up a list of available episodes. For example, we selected TED Talks and had a choice from multiple episodes to choose from. Once again, while you can start typing to find a show, it isn't always successful due to country limitations. Apps isn't just for video. There are apps for popular websites and one to launch the browser, so you can browse the internet on your TV from your sofa. But the problem is once again to do with the Americanization of the product, as most of the apps require US-based registration. Also, while you can add your own repositories of apps, it's not possible for Indian consumers. But the Boxy Box can also act as a standard media player, accessed through the Files menu. All you have to do is tell the Boxy Box where to look on your network. But just before you thought that was all, the highlight though is the fantastic remote control. This radio frequency model has 3 buttons on the front for play, select and menu, and a directional cursor pad for navigating menus, fast forward and rewind. However, flick the remote over and it's a full QWERTY keyboard, which you can use to search for media.
How simple, how smart, literally elementary, my dear Watson. This is what every, and I mean every online device should have. A keyboard at the back and the simplest remote in the front. That's what we said. Now for final conclusion. So, great box, great software, does everything, lots of power, throw anything at it, all works well. Where's the problem? As always, the problem is right here. I'm going to show it to you right here. It's to do with all the apps. Local apps are pretty much absolutely and totally useless. There's nothing here that will give you anything local in India. There's no Netflix, there's no Hulu, it will not play anything from the US, it will not play anything from the UK. So therefore, this literally becomes a media server only for local content. And for that, it's great. For everything else, I think D-Link and Boxy really need to get their act together. We need Indian content. That's all from the Boxy Box.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.